the Guardians played a game that was 2 hours and 3 minutes.
The Marlins game on Friday was 2 hours and 9 minutes.
That's what I was trying to get to. If you guys would shut up about Target, we could have gotten to that.
You started talking about Target. Nobody talked about Target until you talked about Target.
Tony penalty box. You're not familiar with Billy's work?
Wow.
Of course, that's what he did.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
We're young.
2 minutes? 5? What do you think?
2 minutes.
Okay.
It's too fast, Dan. 2 hours and 7 minutes is too quick. You need to, miss something. You know what I mean? You need to just sit there and kind of enjoy, do other things in your life and turn back and know baseball's barely moved along. I haven't missed much.
It has sped up in a way that Stugotz and Billy are already complaining that it's moving too fast, that the whole disjointed. You have to understand, baseball was fighting this change forever. And now what they're doing with their commercials, Bryan Cranston and others, their commercials are like, man, we sucked before, but now we've got it all right. All the things you used to love about baseball, we've changed them all, and now it's totally different. Our game sucked before, but the way it is now, you'll like it better, TikTok kids, because we'll give it to you in 2 hours.
But if you used to tune in like an hour into a game, there was a good chance the game was still in the first inning, maybe the second inning, perhaps the third.
Yeah.
Now you're in the fifth or sixth inning. It's crazy, man.
Just find a new nap sport. It's Masters Week. You can nap to golf.
No.
Just find a new nap sport.
You can normally, but not Masters Week. You're right.
No.
That is my nap sport. You're
It's
right.
the best week to nap during golf.
Stop it.
Before you could show up late to a game, not miss much. Now you have to be on time. You have to pay attention. You see what they're doing with the batters. If the batters aren't ready with 8 seconds to go, it's an automatic strike. There's outs that are happening as a result. It's crazy. It was an overcorrection, Dan. I'm here to say it right now. Overcorrection, Major League Baseball. I don't know who I'm pointing at. Oh, wrong camera. Overcorrection, Major League Baseball.
We're not doing that right now. So we do that in a couple of hours. The live show that's on a camera that you would be pointing to right now, this is being sent into the world as only audio, and all people are hearing is your elbow hit the microphone every time you try to talk.
Outrage. That's what I hear.
The complaints about baseball and the speed of baseball a weekend, there's too much change, it's disorienting. Combined with Stugotz already wants to nap. Stugotz is just generally tired. Whatever you file under the umbrella of tired, Stugotz will not watch the national championship basketball game tonight. That's not
a shot. 9:20 tip on a Monday night with two teams I don't care about. Get out of here.
It's almost like they don't want viewers, is what I think it is. I don't know what it is. Why would they have it so late?
It's usually been that late. It is usually something that everyone stops to watch back before one and dones and the portal and everything else made college basketball a sport where you don't have a lot of stars and you certainly don't have a lot of allegiances to players that have been a place 3 or 4 years.
No, it's always been late and I've never watched it. Here's a confession. I didn't know what One Shining Moment was until I worked in sports media because I never stayed up to the end of a men's national championship game.
I can't get to the start of them.
Didn't know what it was. People were like, oh, One Shining Moment. Oh, that was so good last night. I was like, what?
Can I just say this? That the way that they program the men's championship is a disservice to the way that women's championships are programmed. Because I had no idea that the women's championship was in the middle of the day yesterday, which is exactly the time that you would want it on. It was a perfect time slot. A perfect time slot. And I was like, this can't be right. This has to be a replay. Like, who has a championship at 3 p.m? Like, why would this be the case?
So last year, the women's national championship was in prime time because of the baseball lockout, because they didn't have anything else playing at night. And we have to show the Phillies-Rangers game in prime time. We can't put a national championship game on in prime time this year. So it was on 3:30 on ABC. And I disagree, Billy, because it is a terrible time slot on a Sunday afternoon. Great time slot. People have errands to run. You have stuff to do. I mean, I obviously watch the entire game, but it's terrible. Like, start it at normal prime time, not prime time plus, which the men's do. It starts at 9 o'clock, 7:30. Right. 7:30 basketball game. It's over by 10.
Or 6:40, like the Marlins games.
Exactly.
That was too early.
But you're missing the West Coast there. Like last year, listen, I'm willing to stay up for the game still, but last year it was Kansas and Carolina. I'll stay up till 10:20 for that.
That's right.
It's San Diego State and UConn. No, I would for Kansas, Carolina. Like, those are blue bloods. Those are big-time names, big-time schools. Like, I want to see that game. I just don't care about San Diego State. I mean, I'm sorry. Not enough to stay up that late. I don't know. Who cares about San Diego State?
I'm so sick of the West Coast programming my life around them. Enough.
Thank you. The women's national championship game was at 12:30 on the West Coast.
Oh, that's a great time.
That's breakfast.
12:30.
There are things about that game that I want to discuss, Stugotz, because the language now that I am watching that Angel Reese is objecting to and Dawn Staley is objecting to. I want to play some of this sound for the audience because yesterday, Stugotz, Keith Olbermann called Angel Reese an effing idiot on social media. Samuel Jackson came back at him and said that he was exhibiting real small dick energy. And Angel Reese, basically, Caitlin Clark was magnificent. She was a star. She's part of the reason that the women's games have done better with ratings than NBA games have done, because even Stugotz came in here today saying that he was more excited about the women's championship than he was about the men's.
I was. I mean, the time had something to do with it, but a Sunday 3:30, Iowa, LSU. You had Caitlin Clark, you had Mulkey, you had Angel Reese. Like, I was, and Dan, here's the thing, and I think people are really missing the larger point, is that women's college basketball, and I found this with lacrosse as well, I'd rather watch a women's college lacrosse game than a men's college lacrosse game. And I'm arriving at a point where the games are being played at such a great level, such a high level, the game is a really great product. It's fun to watch. And so I found myself really more excited for that game and the storylines around that game than I do for tonight's game, because tonight's game is nothing. It means nothing to me.
It's too late for you. You're going to be napping. It's still for the championship of men's college basketball.
I'm surprised you're not watching for Jim Nance's last game.
I'm surprised Jim Nance is showing up for this game.
Regardless, what happened yesterday with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, America's darling Caitlin Clark, really amazing. She was amazing throughout the year in the tournament. A lot of fun to watch, but Angel Reese taunted her, and this offended Keith Olbermann, who called her an effing idiot and said it was classless. And before we get to Angel Reese's sound on this, let's go back for a second here to Dawn Staley, South Carolina's coach. I thought they were going to win the championship this year. They end up losing because Caitlin Clark is amazing.
Yeah.
And Dawn Staley is objecting. She's throwing elbows at everyone who likes to classify her black players a way that she really objects to.
The truth about our team, okay? It's a good question. We're not bar fighters. We're not thugs. We're not monkeys. We're not street fighters. This team exemplifies how you need to approach basketball on the court and off the court. And I do think that some of, I'm going to say it because I said I was going to say it, whether we lost or whether we won. Some of the people in the media, when you're gathering in public, you're saying things about our team, and you're being heard, and it's being brought back to me, okay? And these are the people that write nationally for our sport. So you can not like our team, okay? You can not like me, but when you say things that you probably should be saying in your home, on the phone, or texting out in public, and you're being heard, and you are a national writer for our sport, it just confirms what we already know.
A lot of people went after Olbermann yesterday, Stugotz, because that was a hostile reaction, calling Angel Reese an effing idiot for what is a fairly benign gesture, I thought, in the name of trash talking in Caitlin Clark's face, where she's showing her the ring finger and telling her, we're going to get one of these, and you, the star who just got beat. I mean, these are hugely competitive people, and they talk trash when they're emotional. And when Caitlin Clark is getting that kind of attention, you don't think a champion's going to be rabid about trying to defeat her? Like rabid and emotional about trying to defeat someone who is the glamour girl of the sport, while Angel Reese is the outstanding player in the tournament.
And the other thing, too, like, this is sports at the end of the day. We love Pat Beverly when he tells LeBron he's too small to guard him, and when he does all these different things. Like, this is trash
I didn't
talk.
love that one.
Okay, well.
You got to be better than Patrick Beverly to do that. And you got to do better in the next game than get that done to you by Austin Reeves and score 0 points on zero baskets.
Really good. No, but the point is that, like.
Classic Pat Bev.
It is. But we love trash talk until it's shown this way, and then we don't love it. Like, this is sports. We love trash talk. Gary Payton, Michael Jordan, all these guys trash talk. When you show the ring, when you beat somebody who is arguably probably one of the greatest players we've ever seen in college basketball, like, that's what we do. We talk trash.
The idea, Stugotz, somebody said that. I saw somebody say that's why we play the games. I saw someone say that's the point of the games. It is not. It is not.
Arguably.
It is not. Put it on the poll, Juju.
I mean, reminding someone you're about to win a ring is kind of the point.
Clay's been doing it for 3 years.
Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Is talking shit the point of playing games? But here is Angel Reese in her own words, because the reaction was hostile, Stugotz. And I don't know if it's a great step for womankind to have sportswomanship be the thing that people are talking about instead of the action. Sportsmanship is what we're talking about instead of the action in the games.
I'm happy. I mean, all year I was critiqued about who I was. Nobody... the narrative, I don't fit the narrative. I don't fit in the box that y'all want me to be in. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing. So this was for the girls that look like me, that's gonna speak up on what they believe in. It's unapologetically you. And that's what I did it for tonight. This was for it was bigger than me tonight.
Caitlin Clark is a bit of a showboat. I love it, right? But she's not shy. Like she
not
knows,
shy at all. I think it's awesome.
She knows how good she is at it. And I always love, like, one of my favorite things in sports, and something I envy because I'd like to know what it feels like to have such an arrogance about how great you are that you can preen. That you can preen because you know you're better than others. You just proved you're better than others, and now you're enjoying the being better than others. I know we're supposed to have humility about these things in sportsmanship, and God knows what the classifications are for women on this stuff, Stugotz, on how you're supposed to behave, what the behavior needs to be publicly in order to be classy.
They're competing. Why does it need to be different? Why can't they talk trash? They care just as much about winning as the men do with their sport. Like, Dan, I coached a girls lacrosse team for 10 years. And at the highest level for travel lacrosse, these girls were talking shit to each other every single game. Every game. And I was okay with it. I think, why do we care so much?
I think there'll be more pearl clutching. There is around sports in general, Stugotz. But now make it people who would prefer their women be quote-unquote ladylike. When whatever that means,
right.
Playing sports like that, you can't, because you saw some of this, right? There were a couple of fights during the handshake lines that became public during this tournament, where people are getting physically hit in the handshake line after a game, or insulted in the handshake line after a game.
I think 90% of the people that were outraged by what happened either didn't watch the game or that's the only game they watched. So honestly, who cares what they think?
I agree. Like, we haven't even talked about the game. We're just talking about the reaction from people in the media that don't give a single shit about women's sports.
Would you like to talk about the game?
We can.
I mean, think about what Iowa did, and that's like Duke beating UNLV that one year. Like, that team, South Carolina, was so overwhelming and so expected to win a national championship. And Jess is right. No one's really talking about the fact that a team from Iowa, with essentially the Danny Manning of the sport. Danny Manning carried Kansas to a national championship. No one is talking about Caitlin Clark, what she does actually on the court, the fact that they beat this dominant team with this amazing coach. They're just talking about one thing they saw after a game. It's absurd.
I saw a stat that was in the women's Final Four when the Final Four team number 1 seed is upset. That team is 1-4 in national championship games. Like, it's really hard to upset the number 1 seed and win. Notre Dame did it in 2018, and Notre Dame women's basketball reporter actually gave me the stat. That was Mississippi State national championship. Was the shot Stugotz will never forget. But it's really hard to knock off the number 1 seed and then win in the national championship game. And LSU did it by shooting outside perimeter shots in the first half, which was Iowa's entire tournament. LSU also, their Elite 8 game against Miami, their shooting was not good. And then all of a sudden in the national championship game, they were lights out. It was just wild.
Splash.
Exactly.
Why was that played? Exactly what?
Outside shooting. No, he's right.
I didn't hear anybody say splash.
Yeah, but when you shoot from the outside,
but if you saw the first half, Jasmine Carson from the bench, splash after splash from three-point shots. Like, it was like, I totally didn't expect it. I thought after Iowa beat South Carolina, they were going to win that game because they have Caitlin Clark and they have one of the best shooters in the tournament, maybe of the season, maybe of any season, certainly the best player in Iowa history. She's broken so many records there.
But no one talks about coming off the bench. No one talks about the big halftime deficit. No one talks about in the third quarter, Iowa spent so much energy trying to get back into that game. They had nothing left in the fourth quarter. We just sit here and break down sportsmanship after the game. Like,
the officiating is something that I would also like to mention, because I said this weeks ago. You were all there. I said the officiating, you remember. I remember. I said the officiating in this sport is so bad. And it's bad in men's college basketball, too. It's bad in a lot of sports. It's terrible in the NFL sometimes. But in women's college basketball, when fouling out affects, or being close to fouling out, affects having, like, the best player. Like, Aaliyah Boston's second foul against Iowa. She ended up sitting on the bench for, 7 minutes in the first half. She's South Carolina's best player. She was the national player of the year last year. And I don't even know, what they called her for. It was some stupid thing that looked like nothing. And then yesterday you see a video of Kim Mulkey, basically, touching a referee, pushing her almost from the sideline. She doesn't get anything, but then Caitlin Clark gets a technical for throwing the ball behind her. It's so weird and inconsistent.
I find it very hard to be happy in any way for Mulkey today. But I also think that the way that we are criticizing the officiating at every turn in sports, I'm coming around to the idea that these things can't be officiated well, that all of it's gotten too hard to do. We can't find anybody who does it well.
It has to be better, though. But I don't know. I think LSU, watching them win and seeing how happy they were and how, excited they were.
Can't be happy for Mulkey. Can't do it.
Team,
hold on a second.
The team totally deserved it. They were so good in that game. They scored 102 points in a national championship game. They were shooting out of their minds. Angel Reese also, part of the story with her, which of course no one that's commenting on this current scandal knows, is that at the end of the season, she got snubbed from every major awards list despite having a breakout year at LSU. So she feels like she's been disrespected by the national media. And she feels like no one's given her credit. Anyone who's watched LSU knows that she has, I think, the LSU record for double-doubles in a season, or maybe it was in the tournament. I don't know. I don't remember. I can't get my stats straight because there were so many records broken in this tournament. But she's a hell of a player. She's so damn good. And the entire team played much better yesterday than I think But
she's so damn good. You don't think it bothers her a little that everyone's talking about Caitlin Clark?
Of course it does.
Of course that's going to leak out of her.
There's so much to dissect with that, and with Don Staley's comments, which were more about Lisa Bluter and Gino Auriemma. I know she mentioned a media member talking on the phone, but Lisa Bluter referred to getting rebounds against South Carolina as going to a bar fight, and Don Staley, I don't think she liked that. Lisa Bluter didn't apologize, but she was like, I just meant that it's really physical and blah, blah, blah. But when you're talking about a team that's predominantly black women, you should choose your language carefully when you're talking about a bar fight, because it comes after Gino Auriemma saying earlier this season he doesn't even know what kind of sport South Carolina's playing. It's not basketball, because one of his players had bruises all over her because of how physical the game was.
That's the evolution
and the rebounding
of both the sport and how people talk about it. This happened to the University of Miami football team. It was all code for they're black. It was all code for I'm uncomfortable that they're dragging sportsmanship white people, golden girls, whatever. This is the language that was used originally when college football started to get more and more giant, and one of the teams was that stuff, bar fights, and I'm going to show up at the 50-yard line with a broken bottle and chains. That's what the language becomes around some of these things.
I'm just not interested in Keith Olbermann. Anyone else who hasn't actually watched the sport, watched a regular season game of the sport, given a shit about any of these players before it was cool to tweet about Caitlin Clark or whatever. Like, I don't care about your opinion if you're just here to denigrate women. I don't care about you.
I'm with you. Caitlin Clark in a national semifinal game against the best team perhaps we've ever seen. 41 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal. They pull the upset. She's talking trash to everybody. And you know what? They play LSU. They're losing the game. And Angel Reese says, you know what? Here's some for you. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? That was awesome. I love to see her do it.
Splash.
I don't know why you keep doing that.
Outside shot that. Come on. You know that.
Tony, Jeremy, is this the sixth man of the year? Do we have the sixth man of the year on with us? Are you guys willing to tell him to his face that someone deserves to be the sixth man of the year more than he deserves?
More than him? Absolutely not. BP, what's up? Sixth man of the year for me.
18-5 against 18-5 against the Sixers.
Know.
You know what Bobby Portis is, Dan? He's in the middle of everything. He's always in the middle of everything. That's what he does.
I don't think that Tony being a little casual with him, BP, what's up? I thought that was a little overly friendly with someone you don't actually
real
know.
Hoopers know. I'm a hooper.
Yeah.
Bobby's a hooper.
Bobby knows.
All right.
Yep.
He is a real hooper. There's no disputing that. Bobby, not you. Bobby, not you. Bobby, yes, not you.
Wait,
Tony.
so just to clear
The
things up,
comma, yeah.
who's a hooper here and who's
that
not?
Bobby's
Well,
the real.
both
Bobby
hoopers.
is the real hooper.
Yeah.
Tony is someone who's overly casual with Bobby upon meeting him by calling him by just saying BP, what's up? It's a little too overly.
Were you
friendly.
surprised by that, Bobby? The BP, what's up? I mean,
Nah, not really though. Not really.
real
Real
hoopers.
hoopers know.
Okay, he will allow it. A lot of people are talking, Bobby, about the NBA being wide open. I don't think it's wide open. I think your team is the best team, and everyone should be scared of you guys. But what is the team? If you had to choose one, Bobby, and say that team might be as good as us, who are you choosing anywhere in the league?
I mean, quite frankly, man, I don't even look at the game like that. You know what I'm saying? For us and me personally, it's always been about us. Us just being healthy, us being on one chord, us being on one string, building our chemistry and our camaraderie each and every day and building good habits. You know what I'm saying? We never look at any other team and try to compare them to us. It's always just been about us, and you know what I'm saying? That's how we're going to keep it.
So there's nobody you look at and say they're also super exceptional. Like there's no one who's a team that plays together and you're like, yeah, they're formidable. I respect them. And if we play our best, we'll beat them, but they'll make it very hard.
I mean, tons of teams. I mean, obviously going to play well and play together during the postseason. You know what I'm saying? You got teams like the Warriors. Obviously, they have a dynasty with 4 rings in the past 10 years, however many years it's been. And then obviously, you know what I'm saying, you got Denver. You know what I'm saying, we played them a couple weeks ago, last week and things like that. They have a good squad and things like that. Obviously, Phoenix, they have KD. You know what I'm saying, he's a big-time threat to any team that he plays. And then with him and, you know what I'm saying, Devin Booker together, that's a crazy duo right there. And then obviously in the East, you know what I'm saying, we got teams that we're really familiar with. Obviously Philly playing them last night and then Boston. So if there's 5 teams I could name, I'll probably name those 5.
Give me a guy, Bobby, that we'd be surprised by his strength because you were surprised by his strength. You made me think of James Harden there. People don't really understand how strong that human being is to do those things that way. But give us a couple of names there on guys that you'd be surprised how strong this person is.
Surprised how strong they are? Nobody comes off the top of my head, but I think one guy that everybody knows how strong he is probably Steven Adams. Steven Adams a bull, boy. Steven Adams strong. That's a grown man.
Yeah, he's got some of that old pirate strength. Yes, that's
a grown man.
But you made me think when you said Denver, Jokic. I don't understand how he does some of the things that he does. I would assume, partially at least, it's not just footwork. I would assume also that when you try, I don't know if he's posted you up before, but I would assume he's very hard to move.
He's very crafty, you know what I'm saying, with what he does. Uses his angles really well, obviously not a high jumper and things like that, so he uses his angles really well. He uses his teammates really well. They play off them really well, and they have great chemistry. I think him having great teammates kind of opens up him even more, having guys on the floor that can stretch the floor for him when guys load up and things like that. And if guys help too much, he sprays it out for a three-point shooter. So I think he's kind of deceptive in what he does out there.
I'm not interested in the MVP conversation, but I am interested in you telling me who you think is just a better basketball player. If I make you choose between Joel Embiid and Jokic, who do you just think is a better basketball player?
It depends on what you're looking for. Honestly, I can't say who's better than who. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking for someone to dominate the game and kind of all aspects of the game by getting his teammates involved, being a super threat with the basketball all over the floor, with getting everybody involved, making sure everybody eats, kind of, you know what I'm saying, dictates the game really well, making his teammates get involved early, then scoring later on during the game and things like that. You'll probably say Jokic. And then if you're looking for a guy who's just the most dominant, you know what I'm saying, physical presence out there, you'll go with a guy like Joel Embiid, who gets the ball, faces up, almost automatic from the mid-range area, post fades, all type of moves out of the post. His bag is deep down there, so it really just kind of depends on what you're looking for. To be honest, you can't really say which is better than which. It all depends on what you're looking for.
Well, let me attack it from a different way. Draymond said Jokic was the hardest to guard, and then Joel went in there and put 46 on him because he was mad that Draymond said Jokic was the hardest to guard. And after the game, Draymond said, never mind, Joel Embiid is the hardest to guard. So you say the hardest to guard, not between them two, but period, is?
Giannis.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to do that. What a cop-out. A great answer, but what a cop-out.
I mean, you talking about other teams' great players. He's got the best player in the league.
I know, but he's also a coward. And I say that with the maximum respect. Because
just being Giannis.
Yes, I did. I got Giannis there. That was a total cop-out. Look at him. He's roaring with laughter in our face because he doesn't want to answer these questions. I'm assuming that that Keep It a Buck, your podcast, Keep It a Buck with Bobby Portis, I'm assuming that you answer these questions $5, Stugotz.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, on the podcast, me and my two best friends from back home, we just started it up, Keep It a Buck podcast. Obviously, when you're getting into it, you want everything to be good. So we've been going through our highs and lows just with it. But obviously, on my podcast, I'm always Keep It a Buck.
It's such a great name. Here's an idea for the podcast: Buck yes or Buck no. Have a guest on and play a little game, Bobby.
All right,
okay.
well, let's do this.
Buck
at the end.
yes or Buck
I like
no.
That. I like that a lot.
You're welcome.
All right, well, let's play it for the first time at the end of this segment, Stugotz.
Okay.
Get together a Buck yes or Buck no.
Okay.
Put peeing in the shower on there. Let's just find out all about Bobby Portis. Tell us something, though, Bobby, because I think Giannis would be one of them that people simply don't understand how strong that human being is.
I mean, yeah, obviously, you know what I'm saying, you probably get the general fans who say, oh, yeah, he just runs and dunks and not skilled and things like that. But, man, he gets better each and every day. You know what I'm saying? I think he kind of uses his force against people. You know what I'm saying? Just because you block a shot or just because you stop him one time or take a charge one time, shit, that ain't going to stop him from keep coming. He's going to always keep coming. He's going to put pressure on the rim, put He'll put pressure on the defense, pushing it off the rim, in transition, us running our lanes, opening it up for him, and things like that. He's definitely a beast. He's definitely really strong. We play one-on-one all the time, and I can tell you, he's pretty strong.
Do you agree with his assessment that he is not as skilled as Steph, that he is not as skilled as Kevin Durant, and therefore he has to be obsessed and desperate about improvement?
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to the level you don't get to the level in your career where he's at by not working hard. You know, obviously coming from where he came from Greece and being drafted and then being able to find his way in the league, navigate, go to the highs and lows, what the league brought him, and then become MVP, and then win MVP another year, and then win the NBA championship a year after that. You know what I'm saying? It's a credit to his hard work, how much time he puts in. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry are three-point gunners, take you off the dribble, one dribble pull-up, things like that. So it's kind of cool to see Giannis' development over the last 3 years I've been with him and see his game starting to take off each and every day.
Bobby, who have you played against that you have left the game saying that person's trash talk is cruel? That person is just, that's too much. All of that is too much. It's personal. It's not, it goes beyond the pale. It's not acceptable.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, bro. To be honest, man, I don't really get into it, people like that and trash talk with me. To be honest, obviously nowadays in the NBA, I don't want to say too much, but if you say one word, then you get a text. So people really ain't really talking too much out there no more. I think early on in my career when guys used to be able to talk and things like that, my boy Joakim Noah Sticks that was on my team, he used to always talk crazy to people and say all type of things. So I think somebody that I played with that talked a lot of trash things like that was like Joakim Noah. But nowadays in the NBA, man, you say a couple things out there, clap your hands or something, man, getting a tech fast. So guys really ain't talking no more.
Okay, but give me one of those Noah stories then. Because you say that, but I saw Russell Westbrook look at Dylan Brooks the other day and just keep calling him trash all the time. Like, did it again and again right in his face, just kept calling him trash.
I mean, I think that's kind of different. Like, somebody calling somebody trash and really just talking shit. I don't really think somebody calling somebody trash is like real trash talk to me.
It's literally, Bobby. It's literally trash talk. If you're calling someone
not for real though, bro. Like,
literal trash talk.
For real though. Like when you calling somebody trash, like that don't really bother nobody for real. Like you call me trash on the court, that's not gonna really bother me. Like that's not gonna get under my skin. That ain't really getting under somebody's skin. For real. That's just my interpretation of like calling somebody trash ain't shit these days. You got to really come with something.
Give me the Noah story. Give me the Noah story where you walked away and you're like, that's not right what he just did there. That's not an acceptable way to talk to a human being.
I mean, so one day, so obviously when I got drafted to the Bulls, and he was actually talking trash to me. I got drafted by the Bulls, and obviously I was a big time LeBron fan, like LeBron everything, like. Love LeBron when he's with Miami. Loved him before he went to Miami and with Cleveland. Obviously, like, I'm younger. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was, like, my favorite player. Him and Kevin Garnett, my two favorite players. So, when I got to the Bulls, nobody really liked LeBron like that. Obviously, because, you know what I'm saying, the Joakim Noah era, the who wants to live in Cleveland, who wants to go to Cleveland era, things like that when he said that. And I had some LeBrons. I was in the locker room, and I came in with my LeBrons, and I was finna go work out and things like that. He was like, "Hey, yo, Rook." Nah, Rook. We ain't fucking with Brian, man. Take them shoes off, Rook.
And that's it.
Fucking with Brian, Rook.
Yeah, and
we ain't messing with Brian, Rook.
And were you allowed to wear them after that, or you, as a rookie, lose part of your wardrobe there?
I definitely lost part of my wardrobe.
So how does that work? Do you have to go to Goodwill? Those are good sneakers. Like, what do you have to do? You have to hide them in your closet and only wear them elsewhere? Or you got to get rid of them? You got to set fire to them? What?
Man, I actually put them in my crib at home, and I never brought them back to the
gym. And do you now do that to rookies? Do you do things like that to rookies yourself?
Funny story, man. We was in practice one day, and it was about a month ago. We was about to play Philly, actually, on a Saturday on ABC. We was about to play Philly, and it was a Friday. We was chilling in practice, and one of our rookies, Marjon Beauchamp, he signed with Adidas, and obviously James Harden with Adidas. And he hasn't worn Adidas shoes. Like, he hasn't worn James Harden shoes all year. And the day before we about to play James Harden, he put some James Hardens on in practice. And me and Chris Middleton let him have it. It was so funny. It was so funny, man. I had memories of Joe Keelan doing the same thing to me.
And he too had to change his wardrobe, or did he stay with it, or did you just dump it in the trash, or what happened to the sneakers?
He definitely put some back on, but he know not to wear them against Harden.
Okay.
You can't wear somebody's shoes against him, man. Nah.
Real hoopers know, Dan.
Thank you, Tony.
Fuck yeah. I mean.
All right, let's play the game. We have had our crack production team. Billy's in charge, and Billy is good musically. So here is the opening and the music to Buck Yeah, the first ever installment of Buck Yeah, Buck No.
Okay.
Great music.
All right, truly
Perfect.
Terrible game show music.
What is this?
We remind you to keep it a buck with Bobby Portis on Podcast
Great
1.
name.
Do you need to
Yes,
explain?
sir.
Do you need to explain the game to Bobby Stugotz?
I'm going to give you some scenarios here, Bobby, and Buck yeah or Buck no. Okay.
All right, very good. Good
cool.
explanation, and
Well,
that's
I
all
mean,
you got.
it
No,
doesn't.
that's
It doesn't
fine.
require
Okay,
explanation.
fair,
Either
fair.
Bobby does it and believes in it, or he
Yeah,
doesn't.
that's
Buck
what I
no.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buck no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Bobby,
go.
you get it, right?
Yeah. Yes,
get it,
yes, and no is no,
Okay.
Bobby.
Real hoopers
Okay.
know,
All right,
Yeah.
let's do it.
All right. Buck yeah, Buck no.
What
Peeing in the
happened-
pool.
What happened to the music? Hold on a second. What happened to the music? We lost the music there. You
Yeah,
gotta-
it was only
Yeah,
10
yeah.
seconds long.
Yeah, where's the music? Where's the music?
Excellent work.
Leave the music
10
alone.
seconds long is what you found. Excellent scramble. Go ahead, ask again, Stugotz.
All right, peeing in the pool. Buck yeah, Buck no.
Fuck no.
Really? I mean, it's a whole bathroom there just waiting for you, Bobby.
No, don't
I
argue
mean,
with him.
all right,
It's
sorry.
his, it's
Sorry,
his
sorry.
choice. Buck yeah or
I'm
Buck
not
no.
doing it.
All right. How about the shower? Buck yeah, Buck no.
He in the shower?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All right. I love this game. This is great.
Look at how happy he is. He's thrilled.
Giving a tip and asking for change. Buck yeah, Buck no.
Fuck no. Can't do that.
Dan does it. It's weird.
Wait, so you're giving a valet $100 if all you've got is $100 bills?
They got it.
All right.
Wow, big spender.
Where's the music bed?
Yeah, we only have 10 seconds. Buck yeah and Buck no. It's sweeping the nation.
Knocking on the stall next to you because you have run out of toilet paper and need more. Buck yeah, Buck no.
Fuck yeah. Gotta need the toilet paper.
Okay.
Do what you got to do.
Look how happy he is. I can play this game forever.
Returning a shopping cart at the grocery store. Buck yeah, Buck no.
Fuck no. Leave it outside.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Leaving your dog's poop in the grass. Buck yeah or Buck no?
Fuck yeah.
Attaboy.
Wait a minute. I don't even understand.
He leaves poop in his
you
neighbor's
can't do
lawn.
that.
there.
You
Fertilizer,
cannot
it's
do that.
good.
It happens once in a while. He's a busy guy.
He's
I mean-
a horrible human being. What do you mean? You can't.
I love this guy.
Can't leave that in your neighbor's lawn. What are you doing?
He already answered.
All right, he did already answer. And
Being completely naked in the sauna. Buck yeah, Buck no.
Fuck no. I can't do that one.
You
I can't
can. All right.
be-
who's the guy in your locker room a little too comfortable with his nudity?
I don't even know about that one.
All right. All right. Guys like me, Bobby, who maintain in the right scenario, they could hit a 3 in an NBA game. Buck yeah, Buck no.
Guys like you
Yeah.
in any scenario?
Yeah. Well, in the right scenario.
Fuck no.
See you later, Bob.
Joel Embiid, do it in the postseason. Buck yeah, Buck no.
Oh, wow.
What's the question again?
Joel Embiid, do it in the postseason. Buck yeah, Buck no.
Do it in the postseason?
Yes.
Doing what in the postseason?
Perform, win, get a ring.
Fuck no.
Oh.
See you later, Bobby. Good talking to you, sir. Thank you. Good seeing you again. Keep it a buck with Bobby Portis on
Let's get
Podcast
it.
One. And also, he's going to be the NBA Sixth Man of the Year, I think. See you later, Bobby.
All right, love, man.
Later, BP.
Thank you, Bobby.
Yes, sir.